Charlie had never cooked steak before. He was always able to rely on other people to do the cooking for him. But now he was on his own, and he had to learn. He had heard that the best way to cook steak was to first season it with salt and pepper, and then throw it on a hot skillet. Charlie had never used a skillet before, but he figured it couldn't be too hard. He rummaged around the kitchen and quickly found a skillet. He set it on the stove, turned up the heat, and waited for it to get hot. After a few minutes, he could feel the heat coming off it. He nervously placed the steak onto the skillet and waited. He heard a sizzle and a louder crackling sound, and the smell of the steak began to fill the room. He carefully flipped the steak and then waited a few more minutes. Soon enough, the steak was done to perfection. Charlie smiled with pride. He had cooked his first steak all by himself, and he was happy with the result. From that day forward, Charlie would always cook steak for himself. He had learned a valuable lesson, and he would never forget it. Charlie had been invited by the local townsfolk to demonstrate his newfound cooking skills. He had been asked to cook steak for the crowd, and he had accepted the invitation. He stepped up onto the platform, and the crowd roared with anticipation. Charlie smiled to himself, feeling confident and excited. He knew he was going to put on a great show. The crowd slowly began to quiet down as Charlie took out a fresh cut of steak. He began to season it, feeling the excitement of the crowd build as he sprinkled the salt and pepper. He then placed the steak on the salt and pepper. He then placed the steak on the skillet, and the crowd gasped as the sizzling noise filled the air. Charlie smiled with confidence as he flipped the steak. The crowd erupted into cheers as Charlie flipped the steak. He carefully monitored the cooking process, flipping the steak every few minutes. Soon enough, the steak was done to perfection. Charlie smiled and removed the steak from the skillet to the cheers of the crowd. Charlie took a bite of the steak and savoured the flavour. He had cooked the steak perfectly, and the crowd cheered with approval. Charlie had truly mastered the art of cooking steak, and he was proud of himself. From that day forward, he would be a master chef.